All right, welcome. This is Ochify, the Game Business Podcast, Episode 8. I'm your host, Ochify Ochi. I'm this veteran OG-san, an older guy who's been kicking around the games industry for about 20 years, mostly on the business side. This show is all about looking at the latest industry news, sharing things I've seen and heard, and offering my analysis. I really believe that in this day and age, it's not just about knowing information, it's about having your own perspective to make sense of the world. My goal here is to provide some better insights for everyone involved in the business side of things. But hey, talking serious business all the time is exhausting, right? My friends actually call me the B-grade Gourmet King of East Asia. Basically, I just really love to eat. So here's the plan for today. First, we'll dive into the industry news. We're looking at the sales rankings for new games that hit Steam in October. And second, I really want to talk a bit about the Japanese mobile game industry, and for the gourmet segment, we'll continue our talk about Taiwan.
Ochify, the Game Business Podcast.
Oh, by the way, you probably noticed I've got jingles starting from this episode. I actually made them using this AI site called 11 Labs. It's pretty wild. They added a feature where you can create music. I tried it out, and it was surprisingly good, so I made a few. You just tell it, hey, I want this kind of music for this many seconds with these lyrics, and bam, it just makes it. What a time to be alive, seriously. Anyway, it's already November. When November hits, you really start feeling those end of the year vibes, don't you? And in the games industry, this is it, the holiday rush. All the big titles are dropping. In Japan, you've got Momotetsu. Globally, there's Zelda Musu, Hyrule Warriors, Call of Duty, Octopath Traveler. It's just wave after wave of massive games. Makes you look back and think, man, what a year it's been.
Ochify, the Game Business Podcast.
All right, let's get to those October Steam rankings. If I had to give you the 1-minute summary, it's this. Lots of indies. Seriously. And personally, the other big thing I'm seeing is the huge success of Swedish studios. They're really standing out. I'll put a link in the description so you can see the chart for yourself. This ranking is specifically for new titles released in October based on their sales revenue. By the way, I'm pulling this data from Game Discover Co. Number 1 is, no surprise, Battlefield 6. The revenue on this thing is, $436 million. That's like 70 billion yen. Just wow. Number 2 is Arc Raiders. This one is from that Swedish studio I was talking about, Embark Studio. They're the ones who also made the finals last year. I think they're under Nexon now. It's another battle royale, and it also pulled in insane numbers, like $65 million. I read an interview where they said they don't have a huge team, but they're laser focused on building systems to develop fast, a real new era studio. Number 3 is Digimon, a new title after a long time, so it charted well. Good to see a Japanese title up there. Number 4 is Dispatch. This one looks fun, kind of like you're watching an anime. You manage superheroes. That's a great concept. The Deeper Story, Escape from Dakov, and Business Savvy. Okay, and number 5 is Escape from Dakov. This is the one I really want to talk about today. I was going to play it myself, but I am terrible at shooters. Just awful. So, please forgive me. I'm basing this on about 2 hours of YouTube gameplay I watched. It's obviously a kind of homage to Escape from Tarkov, but the main character is a goose. Here's what's fascinating. It's a Chinese developed game. The developer is Team Soda. The publisher is Bilibili. This is the crucial part. Bilibili publishing a game is like, I don't know, it's like if Nikoniko Duga, Japan's old school YouTube, suddenly became a major game publisher. Their business sense is just incredible. It reminds me of this thing that happened years ago. There's a Singaporean publisher called Garena. Back then, they were just a game publisher building a huge audience in Southeast Asia. This was maybe 13 years ago when I was managing the Asia market at Capcom. I was talking to one of their VPs and he told me we're getting into e-commerce. I was floored. I was like, why would a game company start doing shopping? But they did. They launched Shopee. Think about it. They already had a massive engaged audience of gamers. They just saw an opportunity and took it. It was such a flexible, smart business move. I was skeptical at first, but when it succeeded, I just thought, wow, that's brilliant. This is exactly what Bilibili is doing. They're leveraging their audience to create synergy. This business sense is becoming more important than ever, especially now with AI entering development. If AI makes it so that everyone can make high-quality games without a massive team, what's left? It's not just about build a cool game and then sell it. It's about asking first, how are we going to sell this? And what market are we even building this for? The game's development and its sales strategy are becoming totally intertwined. Right. Back to the rankings. Number 6 was another great indie, RV There Yet, a multiplayer game about driving an RV home from the mountains. Amazing concept. Number 7 was Fellowship, which is from Stockholm, another Swedish one. It's basically an MMORPG, but only the dungeon raiding part. They just stripped out all the grinding, smart, sells well. So, yeah, the charts are full of these indies. But the big trend I see is that China and Northern Europe, like Sweden, are really dominating. You can just feel the business savvy behind the titles they're releasing.
Ochify, the game business podcast.
Okay, next topic. This flows right from what I was just saying. If other regions are getting so smart, how is Japan doing? This news really caught my eye. On November 5th, the mobile game company Colopl announced they are seeking 70 voluntary retirements. That's probably 10% or more of their entire staff. Now, full disclosure, I know the president, Miyamoto-san, personally, and I'm rooting for them. Genuinely, I hope they pull through. But let's analyze the business side. Let's be real. When a company does this, it means the business is not doing well. Colopl's fiscal year ends in September. Let's compare their 2020 numbers to their 2025 numbers. 2020, 45.1 billion yen in revenue, 12.2 billion yen in operating income, a 27.1% margin. 5 years later, 25.9 billion yen in revenue, 1.0 billion yen in operating income. That's a 3.8% margin. We are talking about revenue dropping 40% and operating income dropping 90%. That is a tough situation. And this isn't just a Colopl problem. The entire Japanese mobile game industry is in a really rough spot, relatively speaking. Why? Because, as I've said before, since the late 2010s, these incredibly well-made games from China and Korea have flooded the market. Unless you're one of the massive established legacy titles, it's incredibly hard to compete. And remember what I said about 3 to 5 year cycles. The results we're seeing today are because of decisions made 3 to 5 years ago. And I think looking back, there was a failure to read the market. Specifically, when I got back into the games industry in 2021, the one thing I knew was that whatever I did, I had to grow revenue outside of Japan. That was the most important thing. The Japanese market just wasn't where the big growth was anymore. Japanese mobile companies have tried to expand overseas, but let's be honest, their hit rate is pretty low. So, what would I do if I were them? Honestly, trying to win just in the mobile game business again, I think that's unrealistic. I would be looking for a new, different pillar of business. I'm sure Colopl is trying that too, but that takes 3 to 5 years. So the question is, how do you survive those 3 to 5 years? This voluntary retirement plan, that's part of the answer. But I'll say this, and it's tough. In my personal memory, I don't know a single company that went through voluntary retirement layoffs and then made a big comeback. If you know one, please tell me. I've been on the side that has to let people go. It's awful. And my experience is, if you do it without a crystal clear, viable plan for what's next, the outcome is usually pretty grim.
Ochify, the game business podcast.
Whoa, okay, that got pretty heavy. Let's switch gears. Gourmet Corner. I want to talk about the goose I ate in Taiwan. Now, Taiwan has amazing food, right? Xiaolongbao, all that. Goose meat is one of those things that's not super famous, but people who know, you can get good goose in Taipei, but you really have to go south, way south of Taichung. Before you get to Tainan, there's a place called Chiayi, and near there, a smaller town called Mingxiong. I noticed years ago that the area around Mingxiong Station is just packed with goose restaurants. I finally went. It was unbelievably good. The way it's prepared, the freshness, everything. We had to wait in line for like 30 minutes. I'll put a link to the shop I went to, the Zhongjiang Mingxiong Alu Ding. It's a bit tough if you don't speak the language, but you'll manage. You have to get the sliced goose meat, of course, but the real treasure is the internals, offal. The intestines, the liver. Damn, they were all sold out when I got there. But they still had the gizzards, and they were incredible. We were there in late October, and it was over 30 degrees Celsius, 86 degrees Fahrenheit, just sweltering hot. Eating that goose with a cold Taiwan beer. Man, Just talking about it makes me want to go back.
Ochify the Game Business Podcast.
And that's our show for today. Please send me your thoughts and feedback. I'm on X Twitter at Ochi. I think I was saying my handle wrong before. Whoops. If I got something wrong, please call me out and let me know if there are topics you want me to cover. I'm aiming to do this about twice a month. The theme I'm really stuck on right now, and what I want to dig into next time, is this: the Japanese mobile game industry and how it's changed over the last 5 years compared to other regions. I'm going to study up on that, see if I can find some insights that might actually be helpful. All right, till next time, thanks for listening and stay insightful.